What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. All right, guys. Hope you guys are having a good afternoon today. So, I just got done with my last stream. I had to take a break, make a phone call, do some real life stuff. I've seen a lot of things in ESO. I've seen a ton of things in this game. I've seen fake tanks. That's been quite an experience. I've seen healers who have dealt damage and caused people to wipe. But now we don't even have people actually queuing healers. What is going on? I want one person to tell me what is going on. Here's my opinion. ZOS has always had a problem with the queue system on a, proper check system. That's always been a very serious issue. And then on top of it, I'm like, what is this? What is this? I've been asking myself time and time again, what is all this stuff? Oh, snap. Can I swim around? Ugh. Anyway, so I'm kind of curious what is going on. Who started this? I really want to know whose idea was this in massive, because I feel like this is one of those things that it was just like, hey, you know what? You know what? Guess what? We don't... Dudes.
Yes. Oh, just a bit. Having second thought.
I don't want to use the disguise anyways. Like... Here's my thing, man. Like I said, I've seen a lot in this game. I have. God, I have. I have seen my fair share of fucked up shit. But that healer on a vet DLC dungeon probably was the funniest thing I have seen in the longest time. I had such a freaking just laugh. I'm like, this is got to be the biggest joke ever. Now, I would like to also hear people say healers aren't that much of a necessity, especially after that dungeon, because it looks like shit. It looked like crap, and I had to use my AoE heal to keep people alive. And that was just probably the most stupidest yet funniest thing I have ever seen in my friggin' existence. I pulled off some crazy shit in ESO. I've done some of the most toxic shit, the most fucked up mechanics ever. And yet, I have never had the balls to say, by the way, you don't need a healer or a tank. You should just totally forget about those. That's just pointless. Because that, to me, is probably the biggest, dumbest thing that could ever be just, like, it's like saying it was a disaster. They died continuously. Dude, really, you're going to get everybody slaughtered.
Time to die.
I wish they would really put these things off to the side and not like in front or obstruct your view, but whatever.
I'm going to...
Like, for example, when I taunt these guys, I debuff them as I'm taunting them. A healer, when they start laying down stuff, it's debuffing or throwing synergies to maintain resource management. That helps. That's a godsend. And I'm like, these are some of the hardest dungeons in the game, or vet DLCs, and yet people are croaking everywhere. It's like, oh, we want, like, whatever happened to, like, trying to get a no death? No, it doesn't matter now. We can just die. I'm like, great. You know, we have a bunch of just people who want to just go ahead and fail. I'm like, wow. Has it gotten that bad, guys? Has it gotten that bad? Is it that bad where nobody's actually wanting to play the roles as they're designed? I mean, I know this isn't like other MMOs, but there is a healing role. There is a tank role. Those haven't changed. There are heals in this game. It's not like we don't have taunts and we don't have heals. You know? We even have sets that specify that. And so I'm kind of even more confounded that it's, you know, like that.
Let me see that thing.
So I just want somebody to tell me what is going on. And who did it?
Finally, this nightmare will
Who started this shit?
You'll kill us all.
That's
the
point.
friend. This is no way for a man
I like
to
that
live.
hat. It's like a Raiden. Okay, so now we just got it till the end. You know, one of the things I like when I first came into this dungeon, I actually loved it. I loved the whole pirate little thing. You know, I kind of really, you know, digged it, felt it. Like, I love the dungeons. You know, I love the format. I love whatever. And I cannot believe we've got such toxic bullshit. I mean, really? Look, I have a healer, man. You know, it's amazing, man. They came in and healed me. I'm forever grateful. Jesus. Yes, I understand the content gets boring. Yes, I understand how things have probably gotten to an extent. But seriously, no healer? Why don't we just do 4 DPS? Why don't we just do that? Let's really make it interesting. Let's just say fuck any role. You know, we'll just be DPS online. Right? You know? Why don't we go for that? Why? You know? Might as well. We might as well. We might as well just abandon the premise of what, you know, anything is. Yes, I understand it gets boring. Yes, I get it. I do. But to spend 20 minutes doing the same boss over and over because somebody refused to be an actual healer is ridiculous. Queuing up hard mode, which they cannot complete in its current formation. I'm like, this is a giant shit show. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. They're embarrassing themselves. They're embarrassing the game. Oh, hell to the no. I would never have jumped. I'll break down material, whatever. And I even understand hybrids. You know, at that particular moment, I would even have taken a hybrid build. I would even understand that. But no heals? Boy, that was a shit show. It was just stupid. All right.
Just leave it sitting here, could you, Blackheart? Paranoid bastard.
Nope. Got it. Give me a sec.
What's this? Who disturbs Captain Blackheart at his rest? Come a long way to die.
You're dead, Captain Blackheart. He's like, I'm T-Bag. Okay. If you feel it's a must.
You continue to impress, my friend. You've beaten Blackheart. Now to finish him for good.
Okay.
Thank you. I never thought I'd be free of you, Blackheart.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna check out the comments here.
And I'll be rewarded.
Sylvia, you mean tank DPS and healer DPS? I mean, I got my personality out of Vet Fang Lair with a tank and 3 DPS requires lots of self-sustaining. I imagine. What the fuck? I would have said. I was rolling. I want one person to come and say defend it. I want one person defending this crap. Please vindicate this bullshit for me. Vindicate it for me, you people. You know who you are. I want to hear you talk your shit and spew your dumb shit at the moment, and I want it. I want it now. I want it. I totally want that bullshit. Because I've heard a couple of tales a time or two. I've seen a couple of things a time or two. This is just it's definitely uplifting. I will say that. I'll be like, wow, that was.
Do you know how long I've been
That was inspirational. I was completely sold. They sold me. No healers required. I was sold. You guys believe me, right? You guys believe it, right? I'm a believer. I'm a complete believer. I believe that healers in Elder Scrolls are no longer a thing. I believe. I'm a believer now. My ways have been changed forever. These 3 people in the last Vet DLC dungeon have completely inspired me to abandon the traditional MMO configuration of the Holy Trinity. I am completely renewed in my new faith. I'm like, oh my God. And whoever was to say, oh, well, it's not really needed. Wow. Well, did you see the last stream I did? Or did you notice it? It's funny because every time I heal or even I tank, I force through a lot of content. Because I'm playing a role that I'm supposed to. You know, yeah, it's funny how that works. You know, it's amazing. Really, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's even mind-boggling. It's completely. I'm at a loss. Oh, switch tunes. Oh, snap. Oh, no. I need to get back on this tune. No, never mind. It's in my mail. I can pick it up on another tune. What am I thinking? That's fine. So, yeah, no. Yeah, no. I was definitely, oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Nah, healers and tanks are still needed, no joke. Normal, you can get away with it, right? But you know what? They were trying without it. That's what was killing me, Sylvia. That was what was killing me. There's somebody telling, you know what? These people are not learning this on their own. They're not. I can almost bank. They're getting this garbage somewhere. Sorry, and I'll trace it. I'll find out who's telling them this, and I will roast this motherfucker to their fucking channel gets annihilated.
If you're looking for the
I will cause so much ruckus on the most dumbest shit because somebody went stupid. I'm like, I walked away for 2 years and y'all went stupid on me. Not even like ignoring everything I've said. Not just ignoring everything I said, but went completely dumb as fuck. I'm like, I want to know who the fuck it is. I want to know. I'm going to find out. You can't hide. Somebody's going to rat you out. Just because you and your fucking crone balls have done it doesn't mean the rest of the community is capable of doing that type of bullshit, nor should people have to suffer 20 minutes in a dungeon because of stupidity. It's just stupid. It's just fucking dumb. 20 minutes for them to try to do something they couldn't do. That is ridiculous. That is just completely beyond comprehension. I mean, we're on normal, but there's the tank. See, that's 33k health. He's got a shield. I feel comfortable. Look at this. I'm on a fucking healer. You know, it was one thing when people tried to fake tanks, right? It was one thing. It was. Right? They're like, oh, we don't need a tank. Except the healer gets the aggro and you die. And on bosses, when mechanics hit, they usually die. And when the healer dies, well, everybody wipes. You know, that's what happens. This is how aggro works. That's how aggro is designed. It's designed universally across the board like that. Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, you know, most devs and most MMOs do that shit. 1 second. But anyways, that's my daughter. But most of the times, that's how it works. It's you know, the design of everything, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm like, my healer's dying. That's a really bad sign. Usually DPS starts taking hits first, and then the healer starts healing. Or even the tank. But on mob pulls, a lot of DPS can just, you know, grab up initial, you know, damage. And then all of a sudden I see it, and I'm like, yo, man, something just seems a little off these days. What is this? And they're like, oh, no, we don't need heals. Like, are you on crack? Who's feeding you drugs? Like, who's giving this advice? I've seen tanks. Oh, I've seen the tanks. And had I seen a fake tank, I wouldn't have been that mind blown. Really, honestly. Healer? Healer now? Wow. Whoa. On a vet DLC nonetheless. I mean, wow. Now, I'm wondering, where is that coming from? Anybody want to volunteer the information? Because if I find out and no one said it, I'll call you all out. Who wants to volunteer it? Nobody? Somebody better be telling me. Because I'm going to be honest, I got a couple of ideas where to look. Now, am I saying it's that way? No, I haven't looked yet. But I have a hunch. I have my hunches. Would I be wrong in those hunches? Anybody? And here's a better question. How would I even have these hunches? How would I even know where to look? That's a better question, isn't it? Have you guys noticed a pattern with the fucked upness? Have you guys noticed it? Have you? I have. It all leads back to the same fucking places. And you guys want to know why I get pissed? I mean, seriously? Why would Mystic be mad? Why is Mystic mad at these people? Interesting. This is all becoming very interesting, isn't it? Bunch of fucking and let's remind ourselves, they're idiots that can't even count. They're not just dumb, they can't count. And yet you guys are listening to it. Why? Why are you listening to morons? Why? Because they've completed content with other people who can actually, understand directions. Because that's what it's down to. I mean, how do you think they acquire the gear? They have to do the content. They didn't just have it when they walked in. No. They acquired it. They just had a better group, that could understand directions and pay attention to mechanics. And then they got so good at it, they're like, well, hey, let's just do it without one healer. Well, let's try it without second healer. Matter of fact, let's run all sustain. Now, guess what? Nobody needs a healer. Nobody needs it. Just run self-sustain. And go through all these dungeons, and everybody wastes time. Because most people aren't good. Because they don't follow directions. They don't know mechanics. Even if they do, they look like a shit show trying it. So I'm going to ask again when ZOS is going to get the stupid shit fixed. Because that has to do with the queue system. I've always said the queue system had a problem. They keep trying to rework it. There are ways to address it. I don't work for fucking ZeniMax. They could kiss my ass because I'm not giving them all the information. Figure it the fuck out. Figure it out. But wow. What a bunch of dipshits. Look, I can't even weave. I have to move just to weave. Jesus. Crazy. As much as I've loved the game, I've literally come to realize there's people, it's because of you guys that I came back is because you guys, I really want to give this a try. I love ES. I love Elder Scrolls. I do. There's stupid shit though that I cannot stand. I can't take it because it's dumb as fuck. The community is going to be the death of this game, not the development team. No. Not the content. No. It's going to be the fuckheads that ruin it for everybody. I've said, you know what's the death of a game? The ones who've been here for so long, they feel like they own the game instead of the companies. I had this discussion a time or two with the top CEOs of companies. I'm like, you know what your problem is, John? You give too much care about the elitist instead of your common subscribing base. Because here's the deal. You're trying to attract new players, not just be stagnant in the ones that you currently have. But you're scared. You're scared. No, I'm tired. I'm a tired man. I am very, very tired. God. Okay, this is a market, ladies and gentlemen. It's a competitive market.
Laid, this is it. We found the shrine.
And if you're like me, you've played other products. Elder Scrolls is not your only product. And everybody will still have the same complaints. Okay? You take those fucking asshats who think they own it, and you tell them to fucking get in line. Yeah, unless you have a group that knows what the fuck they're doing. Hey, not everyone. You gotta make a good point. You make a good point. So, yeah. I'm just wondering what the hell has happened. What has happened? What in the fuck has gone on? I'm asking. I'm literally curious. I am insanely curious. Because I'm befuddled. I am completely beside myself. Wondering, and the fact that nobody is speaking up is a telltale sign that people actually are aware of this. They are actually aware of it. You know, it's admission by guilt. You know, the silence is an admission of guilt, right? Has anybody ever heard that saying, silence is an admission of guilt? Anybody ever heard of it? I'm going to find out. And I'll guarantee I'll trace it back to those fuckheads. To the same fuckheads who can't even figure out a fucking configuration after a CP system change. The same fuckheads who called Twiceborn Star best in slot. The same fuckheads that put magic casters in sharpen. The same fuckheads that put every fucking magic and DPS in burning spellweave. The same fuckheads. Do you get what I'm saying? Do we see a fucking pattern with people listening to those fuckheads? And had anybody been apt, they would have said, whoa, stop, don't listen to them. Instead, everybody falls in line like a bunch of fucking chickens. Better yet, dodo birds. Fucking whatever. Wow. It's amazing, ladies and gentlemen, what you all have been fed in the time that I've been gone. And yet, so only a few of you were smart enough to know better. What the flying fuck? I feel like I can get through to my kids more. And that's a hard feat. Jeez, Matesus. You know how you nip that in the ass as a community? You kick the players, queuing it. Okay? That's how you nip it in the ass. If you're a healer, don't heal if there's a fake tank. If you're a tank, don't tank if there's a fake healer. If you're DPS, just sit there until they kick you. You have to make a statement to say it's not acceptable.
I understand your concerns, but think of the potential rewards. These woods have long been rumored to house a powerful forest spirit.
There's something off about these Bosmer. Something wild, feral.
Trying to get
Are you
transmutations.
sure they just won't attack us?
I agree with the apprentice. How are we to get past these Bosmer if they try to stop us?
We have visitors, it seems. Perhaps they can be of assistance.
So, look, I have a healer. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's normal. Why would I need a healer? Oh my god. It's just normal. Oh. Fucking morons, man. Ugh. You know, we should just throw away MMOs, right? What? I mean, what's the point of even having an MMO these days? It's like not like anybody really appreciates the format, right? At this point in time, I don't blame Zoss for wanting to nerf everybody. Actually, I think everybody should get a bigger nerf. Don't we agree? Don't we all agree? We all need bigger nerfs. Are we all for it? Are we ready to get round 2 of nerfs? Okay? Because that's what's going to happen. I keep trying to tell you guys. You abuse what you have, you lose it. Okay? It's not fucking rocket science. Okay? Do you get it? Holy shit kebabs.
What in oblivion is that?
Kill them!
Somebody killed that Haynard Joe. His death.
Okay, we'll wait for the quest person. We can go down here and check. Yeah, I know. Person's gotta get the quest thing anyways. Or consider it.
We have a prisoner. Perhaps he can shed some light on where we can find this forest.
No, I don't believe it's all of you. I don't. I just want to know, does anybody know anything about it? And who's saying it?
Promised Longclaw would hunt tonight, and here you are. The Forest Mother was right again. See how she was here.
Just give up the information so Mystic doesn't have to go post on everybody.
You may have taken their lives, but Longclaw's daughters are not gone. Celine blessed them with her gift, the gift of spirit life. See their hunt begin anew.
There you are. We've made progress.
I'm always looking for heavy sacks in this place. It's like heavy sack heaven. I just love the fact that nobody seems to know about this. Like you all, like a bunch of people are acting like we don't know Mystic. This is like the first time we've ever seen it. We don't know who would say such a thing.
Through there, the doorway.
We don't know. We wouldn't tell those players to do that type of stupid shit.
Infused with magic.
That one's new to us, Mystic. Now I've really got to ask, do you guys believe I'm that stupid? Matter of fact, are you that stupid for playing that dumb? Just say it. Okay? Let's get it over with. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. And let's get down to who's behind it. Okay? So Mystic can take care of business.
Deal with them. I'm nearly finished.
Yes, mistress.
If Zoss don't want to nip it in the ass, Mystic will. I don't want to, but you know what? I mean, obviously ZeniMax isn't going to implement a structure to resolve the problem. To, I don't know, promote players, especially new players, from having an experience typically associated to MMOs. I mean, that's just crazy. That's crazy. Right? That's nuts. I mean, who would want to play an MMO with healers and tanks? I mean, who would want to do that? Who would want that? Alright. Can't wait to get my transmutations. Ugh. Good call out. Good looking out.
Celine protects. Celine destroys. Celine will rule all.
Celine gets captured. Sucks. I actually feel bad for Celine. Anybody else feel bad for Celine? Or am I the only one? Heavy sack. Excellent. Thank you, Zoss, for my reminder. Like, this is normal. I get it. I get it. But you know what? That's what I was just saying earlier. How many different roles have you played? How many different ways have you played this game? You know, no even respect for the game anymore. That's just a lack of respect for the role. It's just a lack of respect. You know, hey, what the fuck's a healer in this game? I mean, really? I mean, isn't everybody just a healer? I mean, everybody can play any role. So, you know what? I mean, really, we're all tanks and healers when you think about it, right? I mean, who needs the taunt? Who needs synergies? Who needs the debuff? Anything. Who needs to actually be trying to be dedicated in that role? Even though you could play it as that role. I mean, that's just ludicrous. It's ludicrous, right? Such, you know, I've been doing this a long time. A long ass time. Just a long time. And I have yet, you know, that's the problem. It is the problem. It is the fundamental problem. Is these people need to be nerfed. We need nerfed. I'm actually agreeing on it now. Nerf the fuck out of us. Nerf us until we're friggin' blue in the face. Until we are forced to have the appropriated roles. Nerf what the hell out of us. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to help anybody anymore. I'm not. If people want to play this way, fuck all of you. I'm not going to help you with your DPS, your damage, none of that shit. It's disgusting. God. Just got that.
So nice to see you again, my dear Celine. Your secrets belong to me now.
Okay. What's up, boo? Dude, what are we guilty of? More fake healers. Sounds like a barbecue. Have you tried the new dungeon yet? Yeah, I have. The fake tank healer thing is rampant on PC. Always a topic on the forums. Is it? I'm sure it's coming. Celine's. Yeah. So, yeah, I got into the vet DLC and I had a fake healer. You know what they also did, Irish? They tried hard mode. And now, luckily, I was on my Nightblade and I, guided him up to the last boss, which I could have got him through without hard mode. Because I can, you know, do my arm swipe and heal and shield and kind of guide it through. Except these little 3 fuckheads, there were two 400s led by an 1100 who queued as a healer, and they kept dying.
This is taking longer than I'd planned.
And then they tried hard mode, and we kept wiping. I was on the last boss for 20 minutes as we kept dying. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, here's the thing. I've seen fake tank. I have seen fake tank tons of times. Typically in, you know, normal, you know, vets, right? You know, that DLCs? Okay, wait a minute. That's new even for me. You know, a fake healer, though? A fake healer, that's pretty new. That's kind of a, you know, a stretch. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's something amiss. There's something amiss. Like, really far the fuck out. Now, I have to ask myself, where is this coming from? That's my next question, right? That's the next thing. Because typically, bad behavior is learned behavior, right? I think we'd all agree to that. I think we'd all agree that bad behavior is typically learned behavior. And you know why people continue to do bad behavior? Because there are no consequences for such behavior. They're not held accountable for those type of infractions, right? I think we all can agree on that, right? That's what I tell my kids. I actually turned my daughter in for fighting, even though she didn't start the fight, but she was, you know, defending a situation. But I still turned her in because I'm like, even if you do it for the right reasons, you're still guilty by society standards. So I hope you learned a lesson that even if you did it for the right reasons, you're still going to be guilty. So I taught her an invaluable lesson growing up because, you know, I used to get in fights too. You know, and it was one of those hard, because I don't want my kids going to prison later on for assault. Even if it's not aggravated assault is still a crime, right? Okay, I think we can agree. So, this behavior in this community is taught by somebody. And I want to know, who the fuck is it? Who's telling these people to do it? I want to know. Because ZOS ain't going to fix this queue system anytime soon. Because they really haven't thought about it. And said to myself, oh my God, how do we put a check system in place? A proper check system. And because of that, we're going to continue to have these problems. Right? Okay. So, because every class can play every role. Well, there are certain ways to implement a check system. They just haven't figured it out 5 years later. Right? It's just the way it is. You know? Like, look. This is normal. Yeah, there was a restoration staff flying around. There's my heal. Oh my God. Who would have thought? I want to know. I want to know. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to look a couple places. Because I have suspicions. Now, I don't know if those suspicions are valid. I don't know. And I really don't want to be a prick about it. And I really just want people to own up and say, yeah, this person did it. This person started it. Yeah. I would like forthcoming information. As much as possible. You know? Because ZOS isn't going to nip it in the ass. They need to. They should. Because here's my problem. This is, once again, the same fucking argument I have with trying to get people to play this game. I keep saying, you should play Elder Scrolls. Why the fuck would I play Elder Scrolls? It's a giant fucking cesspool of garbage. It's not because they're not Elder Scroll fans. It's because of the fucking community and the fucking toxic shit that goes on around here. And I'm getting tired of it. I walk away. I healed with my DK healer today, and the tank was completely like, what is this? It's a DK healer? And I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I am beyond not surprised. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is not a one-handed axe.
Did me a whole lot of good. About time someone.
Oh, it's the one-handed mace. Oh, that's still kind of cool though.
Yes. You're the one.
I'm actually happy I got it. I mean, I would like I would like an axe, but I need 2 one-handed axes now for my other dude. Oh no, I need the daggers. I'm sorry. Yeah, I usually have a feeling on how these things work. You guys should have seen me in school. Oh boy. I really like calling people out when I was young. I do it right in front of the hallway and stuff. I got a couple of suspensions a couple of times for, you know, causing conflicts. Let's just say it that way. They're like, you're instigating fights. I'm like, well, technically, I'm not throwing the first punch. I'm finishing it. Because you know why? Because I know when people are trying to, you know, act slick, right? You know, do that whole like, oh, I don't know what you mean. We never did anything. It was them. Oh yeah, we're the ones that are innocent. Like, no, motherfuckers, you're not. You're not. You're the furthest thing from being actually innocent. And you know that's probably the most disturbing thing. Is like people are letting you get away with the bullshit. Sauce needs to fix the problem. I mean, unless they want their game to slowly die. You know, that'd be nice. Hey, we just bought your company, and you know, little to our surprise, it's dying. You know, it's actually an MMO that's decreasing. You know, as we speak. How the hell do you how's that happening? We might have a few bad apples in our game, and you know, we capitulated to their, you know, obsessive behavior of wanting things their way. What? So you have brats in your game? Okay. Is that what you're saying? You have brats in your game? Wow. Of course, then you risk running into a group with 4 healers, but whatever is right. Leave roles in vet or regular dungeons. Just cycle people through trying to get their 101k of XP, right? The queue times are really long, so sometimes DPS queue as healers or tanks to get dungeons done. But I don't queue as a healer or a tank when I'm DPS. I always have something to do. So there's no justification. There's none. I always have something to do in ESO as a DPS while I'm waiting for a queue. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise. There's always 2 to 2. So no one's going to say like, oh my God, you know, the queue is just forever. Oh, why would I want to do that? You know, I get what you're saying, but, you know, I get it. But, yeah, I always have something to do. Always. This is why the problem is because of the new XP limit. Right. I agree, Todd. You make a point. You do. And that's the thing. We need nerfed. We need nerfed. Nerf us, Sauce. Nerf us. This is why Xionode only made 1 healer. And even his healer was all about buffs first. Healing a distance second. Healing isn't healing in ESO. Never has been, bro. I've always healed. You mean 6 years later, right? You know, I've always healed. Always. And this is why I've always said to people, when you drop if I'm not dependent on my healer, I have to give up a damaging ability. Right? I'm actually hurting myself when I'm not dependent on a healer. When I slot a self-sustain. It's bad fucking habits. It's always been about bad habits. It's been bad habits from the get. You got to nip it in the butt. Well, I've always played as a dedicated role. Always. I've never, ever, ever, ever have promoted some bullshit. Have you guys ever seen me do that bullshit? Where I queued, you know, as a tank when I was DPS. Or queuing as a healer. Has anybody ever seen me do it? No. It's unacceptable. I'm not going to compromise people in a vet scenario because I'm a selfish piece of shit that can't play a role because I don't know how to.
The right to
And if you want to go ahead and DPS, then get a pre-made. If you don't want to be in queue, get a fucking pre-made. Problem fucking solved. Looking for healer and tank for dailies. How hard is that?
Pride in your work, I always say.
How hard? It's not. Oh, hold on. There's one thing I wanted to check. I mean, I get what everybody's saying, but it's unacceptable. I got enough. It's unacceptable. It's just completely unacceptable. And that's what I'm trying to say, man. Like, if I'm playing a DPS role, like, I made this healer today. Why? Because I wanted to resurrect the DK healer. I'm going to have X amount of DPS, X amount of healers, you know, whatever. I can easily be a DPS with the Mag DK. But I was like, I'm going to be a dedicated role. You know? Like I said, it was an epic fail last stream. Epic. It looked like the biggest shit show on ice. Looked like the ice capade trying to ice skate on sand.
homeland.
It looked like shit. It was a joke. It was pathetic, stupid, ridiculous. Where are they learning these bad habits? Where? Because it's taught. That's what it is.
If you're
We could, you know, skate around it all day long. I'll take that out for a second, just to deposit my ring. But no matter what way we look at it, no matter how you slice it, you know, it is what it is. So my question becomes, where's it being taught? That becomes my question. Right? Somebody's teaching people bad habits. And you know, think about it from a new player's perspective. Think about that. That's a serious problem, man. That is a serious issue from a new player perspective. Makes it so you can't queue for vet dungeons, have to have group like trials, okay? Is he on his Sork tank? I was on my Sork tank. I was on my Sork tank a little earlier. Now I'm getting on my Mage Blade to transmute a ring. But that's what I'm trying to point at. That's what I'm trying to, you know, you take a look at it from a new player's perspective, you see a traditional queue system, right? You go in, you die. You go in again, and you die. You go in again, and you're dead. Why is that happening? Because players aren't playing the role because they don't feel they should. We shouldn't have to play as a healer or a tank. It's a crime. Everybody should be DPS. Everybody. Who needs mechanics? Let's just do it with mechanics. Hell, let's do it with damage. Everybody gets aggro. Everybody fights for themselves. Hell, let's do away with player. Let's do away with group content. That's a better idea. Right? That's brilliant. Oh my god, that is brilliant. We can just do away with group content altogether. We can just get rid of roles. We could be the first MMO without a role. Oh my god. Then it would be perfect. Right? Everybody would have their way. Right? That's where we should go with it. That's where we should go. It's amazing. Jeez, my fucking Jesus. It's disturbing. It is completely and utterly disturbing. Telling you, man. I'm just saying, man. But the ring of Pale Order is best for solo, not group. It's the design of the Q system, not the gear. If a DPS could get his basic dungeon as fast as a tanker heals, it would go away. Well, that does need to be fixed, doesn't it? I will link you Zai Healer, and you can pick apart why Zoss is to blame. It's not bad habits. It's the way Zoss sets up. I agree. They need a check system. I've said this for years. You can get by without true healers. Kudos to you, truly, for playing a healer. Thank you. I appreciate that. True healers, but Zoss is to blame here, right? Well, yeah, I agree to an extent, but somebody is saying, you know, don't worry, Q as. Somebody's saying that. Those are bad. I mean, it's been around, but it's being integrated now. It was to the tanks, but now it's being integrated to the healers. And I don't play like that. You know, if I'm going to play a role, I'm going to play that role. And I'm going to respect the role. Right? I've always played respect to the role. Why? Because it is a very essential core feature when it comes to dynamic group mechanics and dynamics. And this game implements that. But Zoss is to blame because they don't implement a check system. I mean, that is a huge problem. They've done a shit job with the Q system. Well, one time it was bugged to flip up. Oh, wrong one. Oh, well. You know what I mean? I still remember bumping into bugs. So many bugs in the Q system. Remember when the Q system was almost unworkable? Remember that? You was like, oh my god. You know? I can't even queue. We used to have the queue and still have to group up. And then sometimes when we queued in, we still bugged up. Anybody remember that? It was a nightmare. It was a literal nightmare. You know? Problematic. In every essence. Yeah, now all I have to do is get one more. I need one more ring. That'll drop me down to 35. We'll be good, and we'll be sitting at almost 22, 21 something on the Magicka recovery, which would be great. It'll be gravy. Because then when we, I don't think this pot is, I don't think generic pot, let me check. Yeah, and when we drink the pot, we'll be up around 26 on recovery. Working as intended. But, no, man. Seriously, I'm completely distraught at the audacity that some players, like, it was on stream. I'm like, I can't fake this bullshit. I can't. I would like to tell people this is just a fluke. And typically stuff like this, imagine being a new player, browsing around, and you see these streams, and you're like, what's this Elder Scrolls games about? And then all of a sudden you bump into my stream or another person's stream, and you see that the healer isn't really healing. Now, you played MMOs for years. Would that sound appealing to you whatso fucking ever? Okay? Does it sound appealing? I mean, God, the community has to be somewhat held responsible. It has to police itself, too. I mean, God! It's like, why? Why? Disgusting. It is literally disgusting. I mean, what is this? Is this an MMO? Is there dungeons in this game? Are there tanks? Are there healers? Are they, you know, I kind of laughed when they took my Nightblade healer build, and because I thought it was funny to run it in a trial, because Nightblade healer deals damage as it heals. That's the design of its function. That is how Nightblade healing it works. That's how it works. Okay, I mean, you know, it's just the way it is. But had I known that people would be like, you know, well, we don't need fucking healers. We just use a Nightblade. No, you don't get it. The Nightblade healer deals less damage than a traditional Mage Blade. It just does. It's because it's the way it's set up, right? It's just the way it works. Yeah, it deals damage. You're right, but it has to. You're right. It's part of the design element. And but this is because all the abilities still heal, but they deal damage in proportion. And I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Wow. We have some special kind of fucked up. That's what we got. So it's a new level of fuckedupness. I'm actually going to get on my other tune and level up, because I'm going to have to farm out more transmutations to finish him out. But yeah, no, I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? Some crazy shit, yo. DPS is also out of control. You got people out here asking for a minimum of 80k DPS for trials designed for 15 to 20k DPS. Elder Scrolls is just weird that way. Remember Ward and Stam healers? Is that still a thing people do? I don't know. I mean, I remember I did it. I've never put it in a trial. I did Ward and Stam because I could. I knew I could get away with it. And I did it in vets. For real. I mean, I liked it. Yeah, I thought it was fun. You know, I was rolling the bow. You know, I was like, yeah, look at me go. Right. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Random battlegrounds. No, spank you. Yeah. It's decent XP. I'm just trying to get my Undaunted up on this tune before he's maxed. It's got a long way to go, man. I'm feeling it. Oh. I'm feeling it. But like this dude, he's DPS. This dude is it will be a DPS. Right now I have him set up as a tank. Meaning he has heavy armor on. he has taunts. I have mitigation. You know, I have the things that tanks typically utilize. And I can do that because this is Elder Scrolls. You know? Yeah, I can switch roles. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could do that. That's not a problem. I need to be functional. You know? I should be at least functional. But, yeah, people are even skipping functionality. It's like, oh boy.
The keep has been abandoned for
Yeah.
ages, sealed by
We're just gonna
unyielding
skip
frost.
it. You know, we don't do that.
Say that it is haunted. Despite that, I hope to reclaim my ancestral home. Should ill fortune befall me, I have left these speaking stones behind to tell my tale.
Drag them all. No way. Oh, lucky bastards. Look, I have a healer. Feeding me resources. I mean, why would I need that? It helps me, I don't know, while I'm blocking. I mean, it's crazy concepts. These are crazy concepts. These are nuts. I mean, why?
A horrifying sight. The residents of Direfrost Keep appear to have been
Chest.
fleeing,
I don't care about the
but
chest.
now they're frozen in time, trapped in this icy tomb for all eternity.
Probably should start slotting potions. I mean, jeez. I mean, like I said, I don't care about hybrid builds. I don't even care, man. Listen, you can get away with a lot of stuff in this game. I've said that multiple times. I have. One thing I have always said, though, you want a dedicated role. Why? Because when it comes down to crunch time, you want that mitigation. You want those heals. You want those debuffs. You want that stuff. It's apparent. It helps. Does that mean that, you know, I still remember when tanks didn't understand mitigation. They didn't understand it. They were rolling as DPS and getting slaughtered. And I'm like, you guys know why you're getting, like, caked on that mechanic, right? No. It's because your mitigation sucks. You understand how mitigation works, right? well, you know, we need to deal damage. No, you need to mitigate that fucking mechanic, motherfucker. You know your shield system is part of a mitigation that, like, scales from health? No, yes. I've played multiple MMOs. Trust me, shit don't like that doesn't change. It doesn't. And then I walk away for 2 years, and then y'all revert back to retarded stuff. Like stuff that just, I'm sorry, I'll retract that. Just, oh, I'm sorry. I retract that. I'm just frustrated. I'm very, very frustrated because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. You have a mitigation. You have a healing factor. You have all this stuff. Why the fuck would you listen to people who don't care if you complete it or not? They don't care. I'm so mad. I am that fucking frustrated that I'm going off because we've got people teaching people just dumb shit. And I apologize. Actually, I apologize tremendously, even especially about that last comment, because that's not supposed to be like that. Okay? So I do apologize tremendously. I'm not trying to say about people being whatever, about any disability. Trust me. I'm just saying there is stupid shit that people know better and people are promoting. And to be a hybrid's one thing, but to ignore the facts and to teach people bad habits and justify it is absolutely uncalled for. And after this, I want Zos to nerf us. I actually want them to nerf us more. I want them to. Now I want them to. I feel like it's a justification. I feel like it has to happen. Nerf it. Make sure that nobody completes content. I don't care who's pissed anymore. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And if I was Microsoft, I would be going the fuck off. I would be fucking losing a grip.
I've traveled here for naught. The gate to the crypt is locked, probably opened by the pair of pressure.
Stand on the plate.
And me with no companion. Without the
Yeah,
torch,
thank you.
I can't light the flame.
I'm so mad.
But I'll return.
I'm gone 2 years, and you and people let this happen. Why? Like, I remember when this boss would kill you if you didn't have heals or shields. I'm so upset. I am literally disgusted with what has transpired. People want to talk about mechanics, but want to ignore, mitigation. We're going to ignore mitigation. Oh, we're going to ignore, buffs. Oh, don't worry about buffs. Hey, don't worry. Don't even worry. Don't even worry about any of it, man. Really? I mean, I'm pretty appalled. And had I not streamed it, and had I not gone through it firsthand, I wouldn't be going off. But yeah, here we are. Asking ourselves the same time tail question. ZeniMax Online Studio. What the fuck aren't you doing? Or what are you going to do? Do you have to come down to the nerf because you can't figure it out? I mean, is that what it is? Do you have to nerf us because you can't figure out how to fix a queue system for a check? Is that the issue? I mean, is that the problem? I'm coming back to it. We can't figure out how to put a check system into the queue, so we need to nerf them.
I'm finally free.
Fucking God. So upsetting.
This doorway's been sealed. There must be another way to the summit.
Just fucking dumb. Fucking dumb. I hope Zoss nerfs us back into the Flintstones. Makes me not even want to put out another DPS build. Like this healer doing his job, I appreciate that. Having these utilities, I appreciate that. Even if it's normal, even if it's a lobby level, I appreciate, you know, the design. I always said some of the funnest games when you play it is at low level, right? It's when you get to the end game where everything gets fucked. It's when you get max level, you're doing everything that you can do when you reach max level. And then that's when the toxicity comes in. That's when the community gets like this, you know, ego. And yeah, I've been a part of it. I've been, you know, a part of the problem before in multiple MMOs. And, you know, honestly, to see, though, people justify the lack or the no need for any specific role is disturbing in every essence. As a game enthusiast.
would never have gotten through the last door without...
It's a problem. It's a serious, serious issue. 1 second. Need to get another master sorting board. Yep. Oh, Mystic, this was going on 2 years ago. This has been going on for so long. You know what, though? I never promoted. The tank one was I've seen for a while. I'll agree with that. Healer? That one's new to me. You know? I've seen tanks, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the tanks a lot of times. DLCs, this was a new experience. This was a new experience. I was like, wow, really? Healers now? So we really don't want to complete any content, do we? You know, because had we had a healer, we would have completed it. You know, we would have.
Feel free. Not exactly.
You know, we would have been able to complete the content very to little to no problem. I was like, hey, you know, well, I mean, that's, you know, it's not a problem. We'll get through it, whatever. You know, and then they went ahead and queued, you know, or did try to push hard mode, and I'm like, we're not getting hard mode, man. Well, screw him. He keep hitting it. It's like, you guys have been dying constantly. You guys aren't. You don't have a healer. You can't even self-sustain yourself through the damage. What makes you think you're pulling this off? It's not a mechanic problem. It's a mitigating problem. And I go back to the content creators. Who's teaching bad habits?
Do you know how long I've been looking for you?
There's always a source. Right? There's always... I always tell my kids, you know how it starts? One person does it, gets away with it. Another person sees it, tries it. If they get busted, ends it. If they get away with it, now you have two people showing people, and it keeps going and going and going until it becomes the norm and it's overlooked. Even though it shouldn't be acceptable. All right? I'm not trying to get into any... You know, I'm just using an example, general reference. So, no matter what your personal beliefs are in any topic, that's how we normalize things in society. You know, we start asking ourselves what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable. All right? That's what we do. What we do. And this game is just another extension of a larger issue that the devs don't want to go ahead and stir the pot with the existing player base. They would rather let it go. But what's that doing? Well, it's turning away players who are traditionally accustomed to what?
We need an edge in
some form of standards. Right? Because that's what you sacrifice. You sacrifice your standards.
What can I do for you?
Right? Just let it go. Who needs standards? You know, we don't need to be like them. We don't. We're unique.
You know how long I've been
Even though we have all the things that other MMOs would traditionally. Yeah, we have a queue. Oh yeah, we have a tank role for the and it's just like, why though? At this point, particular reason, why even have it? Why even bother? Right? Just asking. If we're going to keep like justifying it, we might as well just throw it out the door. But when you throw it out, you don't get it back. And if you do, it's never the same. So should have stuck with FF, brother. Not justifying anything, but fake healers have been around long before fake tanks. Yeah, I've always seen fake tanks. 3 DPS thing has been around forever. Yeah, but you know what? Back in the day, I always proved the thing with mitigation. ESO, it's ESO. Always been this way, bro, right? Not saying it's right. It's not. But it's ESO. It is what it is. And it's too far gone to fix. You're right. And that's what I'm saying. Too far gone to fix. The culture of this game is sadly set. Not going to change, right or wrong. Well, have a good run. Thank you, Harold. You too, brother. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Especially the conversation and your points. You made very good points, Harold. Very good points. And that's why I like to say I like to have discussions with you guys. It is. You're right, Irish. You're right. And I think that's one of the reasons I had to get away. The PvP was just a little overwhelming, but you know, I started seeing these changes with CP. I started noticing some stuff. I said, you know, yeah, it's worth it. I'm going to invest, man, and I did. Am I regretting it? No, I'm not. I love the PvE in this game. I love the mechanics, the devs. I love the new CP system. It could use a little fine tuning, but amazing. It's actually fundamentally strong. It actually has a strong base fundamental element to it, and that deserves respect. So whoever designed it, kudos to that designer. You know, so much kudos. Like I'm not gonna dog on it. You know, fine tuning it is going to be needed, but you know, fundamentally, yeah, I'm giving it an A all the way. So, you know, I feel like the game has room to adapt its structure to become that much stronger. But I think you're right. I think the community mindset has been so polluted. Like, let's be honest. I rolled in today with a DK healer, and the tanks never saw one. Yet, fundamentally, DKs were always capable of the role. So, to me, that's a problem not with the developers. That's a problem with the community in acceptance of what the game is and isn't. So I go back to that, right? So it's like, you know, you're fighting against a collective that's been brain dumped. You know, it's like you know, you can push more, right? You can do more with this. No, yeah. All the way, baby. All the way. All the way. There's so much more to this than meets the eye. That's why I love it. That's why I love ESO. You know? The things I've been able to pull off in ESO, I could never do in other MMO titles. You know? To be able to have a Sork tank. To be able to have a warden that can, you know, play multiple classes and roles by allocating different specifications. Like, this is what makes ESO so unique in its design element. And it's in that essence, it's beautiful. It's amazing. It is just phenomenal. Okay, there was something I was gonna do. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think at the end of the day though, I have to ask myself, you know, are the devs serious about the longevity of the product? Or are they just passing time? You know? Are they going to keep catering to the brats? Or are they actually trying to expand? And are they trying to sustain and expand? Sustaining is, you know, retention is an issue in any business. Retention is very, very much a very important element to a business. But any good businessman or woman, any good business person is going to tell you one key element. It's not enough to sustain. You have to grow. If you do not grow, then you're doomed anyways. Eventually, your retention will cease to exist. And that is a fundamental of business. So, what is the longevity goal? What's the goal? World of Warcraft is dropping subs left and right currently because they ignored the player base, went to an element outside of the MMO traditions. Fundamentally flawed in every way. And now they're paying the price. Now, I have to ask, is ZeniMax willing to go down the same path? But this time, cater too much to a group and not expand operations. Sooner or later, your hubris will be the end of you. Sooner or later, you become your own Achilles heel. Just the way it goes. All right. You know what? Nah, fuck it. But yeah, I'm like, you know, is it Elden Hollow? I think it's 2. Vollenfeld. And then, I would like to get it out of the way, but it is what it is. You know, I've got to ask the community, have you failed in vet trials for queuing as a role or having lack of a role? Have you ever been in a dungeon that failed because somebody tried to fake it to make it? I have. I did it today. And if you have, well, isn't that a problem within itself? You know, you can't fake it to make it. I always tell people, you either have it or you don't.
Take pride in your work,
Just that simple, man. Faking it will only get you so far in anything in life. In anything. You either have it or you don't. And if you don't, it's best to let it go. That's just the name of the game. You know, that's life. I've been, you know, really fortunate enough to, you know, implement that into my children, man. always wanted Widowmaker to work. I just don't think it's ever going to. I tried that set so many times. I've tried to get Widowmaker to do some crazy. I paired it up even with, you know, a couple of other sets, but you know, the poison proc is just, it's, you know, it's just not, it's not effective enough to keep hitting at a consistent rate. It's too, the RNG on it, you know, if it was more controlled, man, that would be, that would have been a badass set. But yep, a lot of fakes to makes that can't, that all they do is break. But we'll see, man. Don't need it. Keeping that. Okay. Cool. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Blackwood's going to be good. I think Blackwood is going to be a good chapter for this game.
I must finish this.
I see a lot of potential still. I think the game has, you know, an underrating element. But I also feel like sometimes the devs shoot themselves in the foot. Some things is out of their control. And I know that. I can't blame the devs. I mean, they're only going to do what they're told. To an extent. Right? Sometimes they can't implement the changes even they want to implement. Sometimes the quality of the game isn't on par with where they want it to be. I know that. I know that better than anybody. I've had arguments with some of the top dogs. I've been in some of these scenarios. And I've had to listen to, you know, the background stories of some of these developers and what they've had to go through, you know, with different companies and different scenarios being played out. But, you know, I'm hoping that this game, because I love Elder Scrolls, you know, it's not just ESO. I think ESO is an extension of the Elder Scrolls universe. And they do a damn good job, you know, representing that. The lore and all these elements. You can play it as a single player game and get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Just by doing the storylines and the Easter eggs littered throughout the game. There's a lot of different elements in this game that is spectacular. It is amazing. It is to be. It should be an admiration of the dedication that's been, you know, poured into the product. And then I come down to fundamental flaws from a design, you know, such as the community being allowed to run like they own the product. Like it's not the developer's product. It's not the company's product. It's our product. We demand that we do without these stupid roles. And we demand that and it's like, that's only going to work to an extent. Because who's going to want to play eventually? Like, the procs have gotten so bad that people are loving. Look, I could try to get into Cyrodiil. It's not going to happen. It's been insane from the get. Since the no proc has been implemented, it's always full. Always. Always. Why? Because people are enjoying it. They're like, it's gone. We can play with skills. We don't have to die to stupid mechanics that cheese wins. Yes, builds are restricted because there's limited set options, because ESO didn't think about building all certain sets just statistically. But the procs have gotten out of control. Why? Because they were selling the game on that. And it got them into a hemorrhage. You can't keep selling gimmicks and hoping to retain customers. Sooner or later, you're going to lose them. So you got to come up with a new idea. How do we retain the customers who are going to leave? Let's get rid of CP and Cyrodiil? Brilliant. Great. It's sold. When I first came back, before the whole, test, I said the problem's the proc sets. That's why I'm waiting for Crowfall. I want a siege. If I want a siege, I want a siege engine. I want to play a siege engine. Yes, I'm going to get into maybe a couple 1v1s. Maybe a 1 or 2 1vx's. Maybe. But a siege engine is a siege engine. And when I'm in a siege engine, I want big battles. I want catapults. I want trebuchets. I want, castles being, demolished. I want new people being crowned. I want the siege. I want that. I don't want the toxicity of what Cyrodiil has become over the plethora, because the community, the PvP community, has never respected what they had. They never respected the design of Cyrodiil. And what did ZOS do? They just said, look, it's popular. Let's keep throwing more. And let's keep throwing more. And let's do it. And let's keep putting it in the PvE. So they have to play the PvE to be competitive in PvP. Brilliant. No. It never was. You just built a toxic pool of shit. That's cost you so much more, because the game's design, its fundamental designs are, so much more than what you put into it in the later years. I look for them to have 2 Cyrodiils. One with proc and one without. And the one without's going to do well. It's going to succeed. And then you're going to have down the road, ZeniMax may nerf us again. They might do it. And it'll be justified. It will be justified. And I've got to ask myself, why did it come to this? We're all to blame. Even me. I fed into it too. I was a contributing factor to it for a minute, and I'm not going to deny that. So there's nobody who can not take fault for what the game has become. We all have to bear the blame and try to do what? Push for better. Because if we love this game, if we love the devs, and we love the company, and we want it to succeed further, and we want it to become and remain a successful title, we have to be willing to accept that change is inevitable. Right? And we've got to go ahead and try to bear through it. We've got to try to do what? let the developers try to expand the business. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to see this game fail. I never wanted to see this game fail. Out of any game I've ever wanted to see succeed, it's always been this one. So, are we going to try to let the devs, you know, bring us back to those golden ages, to the golden years, and give it to a new generation and sustain it? Or are we just going to let it die slow? Because it doesn't have to. So...
Leave it to an alternate to grasp for power and souls, Aster. I've been able to keep this data under control. These shade schemes have harmed my system.
I'm kind of curious.
This one knew she was alive. Bakara is close. I have her scent. This will be easier than I thought. Perhaps I can save my sister and return home with a cadre of Daedric servants as well.
I think I have
They
some...
will be a force to be reckoned with under the banner of the Mages Guild.
That's that new set.
My sister's scent ends here at this portal. The altar that keeps it open must just be beyond. You stay here.
Watch this. Fake healer. What a way to end the stream. I mean, it's a normal dungeon, but it's proven a point. Thing to build out. Sins? Orbs are sins. Synergies? was about to say, man. You know, you wanna get like some synergies or something down. Like right here, you can get away with stuff. Just keep the synergies and the buffs and stuff coming. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to do everything. Just keep certain things apparent. When you synergizing in groups is a plus. Why? Everybody gets resources. Like I said, you can do a lot of things. Just make sure you're paying attention to like functions. It's not just enough to heal. Just keep, you know, fundamentals solid. Can you deal damage as a healer? Yes. Does it have to be one way? No. You can put different things together. That's part of the lore of ESO. Here's the question. Are you compromising the role? Because if you compromise the role too much, then you end up compromising the team. Think of it like special forces, right? You have a team who has designs in their roles, right? Not everybody has the same function in a special, in special teams. They each have a role, they have a function, they have a design. You can be a specialist, but at the same time, what do you want to do? You want to still be able to perform the function. And if you can do that efficiently, then you've even made a better solution. Like, look at the big difference when synergies are applied. Simple synergies. He has heals, but now apply synergies. One or two synergies of heal, the rest is DPS. Perfect. Now you've maintained healing factor, you've maintained utility, you've offered, a lot more features and still maintain your, what you were shooting for. What I had today, all about self-sustain, not group functionality. And that's why I said I think ZOS needs a certain check system. They can implement it if they know what they're doing. But once again, I don't work for Zenimax. They can figure it out themselves. So much faster. Little things go such a long way. Now they have a synergy. Now they can maintain resources. So much better. Little things make a difference.
This must be the source of the data. You must stop it, whatever it is. Makara's claws have been unsharpened.
See that? I know that set. That's a Stam Warden healer. I know that set. I've had this build. All you had to do was put on that utility. I've used healing orbs with mine. Makes a huge difference. That was a Stam Warden healer.
Is that you?
Gargan, you live, yes? See to this once, brother. Makara will destroy Captain Orna's final altar, which sustains this realm.
That was amazing to see it.
It is done.
That was amazing. It was good. Good setup. Add one little feature makes a huge difference. Is there a point in high elf healer? High elves healers are really good because of their pool, their resources. The only problem with a high elf healer is sustain. So you want to go ahead and offset the like Bretons are usually good because of the sustain factor, but because of the pool resources, high elves heal for a lot, but you have to make up the difference in the sustain pool. Typically, in comparison to Breton. You know, Argonians have good healing, but once again, they lack max resources, so you always have to, like, push up their max resources, where high elves have a nice max resource, but you got to work on their sustain. So, that's about the difference between the races. So, anywho, man, I am going to be getting off, because I've got to leave in a little bit. But everybody, thank you for the open discussion. And, you know, I like a lot of points people make. I like these discussions. I like where you guys come from. I like to voice my opinion, but I like to hear yours. You know, and I think it's important. You know, it's not about me being right. Okay? That's the furthest thing from any dialogue that I want to engage in. Yes, I'm a little perturbed. I'm not going to lie about that. However, I think as a community, we have to hear each other out. We have to have these discussions. Why? Because what do we want to see for the long term of the game? If we all love the game so much, how do we want to address this? Is it important? Should it be important? You know? Are the devs aware that there are players who are crying foul, as many of players who are saying, yes, let us, like that Stam Warden healer. He's, you know, there's ways to put check systems in to make sure that people are playing the role as they're designing it. And that doesn't come up with like putting a resto staff on or something and just saying, oh my god, you have a resto staff, or putting on resolving vigor and oh my god, now you're a healer. It's just saying, you know, hey, wait, we got some checks here. Every class has a, you know, a healing tree. I guess I'll throw this one. Every class has some form of healing tree. So you put like, okay, how many of these abilities in succession with, you know, their setup is meeting a requirement to be classified as a healer. That's it. Doesn't have to be overwhelming. All you have to do is put 3 or 4, like, you know, 3 heal abilities and a utility, or a synergy, I should say, or, you know, and all of a sudden, guess what? Boom! Now you're a healer. Tanks. Okay, you know, what's your resistance at? The minimum resistance to Q as a tank is, you know, 15,000 with a taunt. You know, slotted. And a shield, you know, or, you know, a shield or a heal. You know, oh my god, boom. Requisite met. You can Q as a tank. That's it. That's as hard as it gets. Three abilities in a check system. And then all of a sudden, now you may queue as said healer. Now you may queue as said tank. That's it. You're not putting overwhelming, you know, restrictions. You're just putting bare minimum so it allows flexibility, but keeps people dynamically put in a specific role. So it's just to say, hey, I want to be a tank DPS. That's fine. Your minimum resistance needed is this and a taunt. That's it. We're not even going to make you put a shield on. You just have to, you can use the range taunt from the Undaunted. Okay. Bingo. Now you're a tank. You have resistance. You have a shield or a heal or something, and now you can taunt things. That's it. Q tank. Healer. You have 2 heals and a utility. Yeah. Okay. You're a healer. Boom. You know, don't let them get away with just saying click. Because look, I'm not a healer. I have a heal. 1 heal on this bar. 1. That wouldn't be classified. I would never classify this as a healer. Even if with the soul tether. I wouldn't classify this as a healer role. I wouldn't. Period. But yet, I'm able to go in here to Active Finder, switch my role, and Q. And they're not going to stop. I could even pick tank and Q. Watch. And you guess what? It'll Q it. I'm not going to join it. But look. Oh, I queued as a tank. Fundamental flaws. I have no taunt. I don't even have good resistance. I don't. I don't even have good resistance. I'm not even saying to have them in heavy. Hell, you can put fortified brass on light or medium and still have resistance. I'm just saying put a minimum. Say you have to have 15, spell and physical. Okay, I have 9. I don't have enough. So let me put Chewed on. Let me grab a taunt and a shield, or even where it used the hardened armor. Can I queue as a tank now? Yeah. You have a taunt. You meet the minimum requirement. You can queue as a tank. Good luck. Bam. It lends flexibility. I can still damage, but yet I'm going to taunt stuff. I'm going to go ahead. Maybe I'm not going to block. Maybe I'm going to try to out DPS the mechanics. Who knows? Who knows? But at least I'm meeting some prerequisites to be able to queue as that role, that function. And yet, the devs, woof, haven't said, you know, maybe we should just make it simple on us and put a simple prerequisite. Nothing huge, just a bare minimum. So people can have flexibility in their roles, still be able to DPS, still be able to kind of do whatever they want, but, you know, they kind of fit the role. Yeah? Sounds good. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Anyways, man, I'm out. Thank you guys for stopping in. I was the Stam Knight Blade. Was you? Dude, oh, dude, that I haven't played this game in like 5 years. Is it worth getting back into? It's a good game. I mean, the thing about it is the lore, they've really done really good job with the lore. Gamer Boy, they really have. They've done a lot of excellent content. They put in a lot of good content. So if you want to play for the content in that, yeah, it's amazing. True, it's with Alpha Gear or Dressing Room, you could just instantly switch after a queue. Well, yeah, you could, but what they should do is lock bar. Instead, lock the bar. So you can't do that. So if you put a system like that in, you lock bar. That keeps the fakes from doing something like that. So it's basically saying if you're going to queue as it, you're going to play as it. So basically, if you screw up on, you know, your bar slot, you're stuck with it for that run. Sorry about it. That's all you have to do. Yet it bypasses the devs. Now, I'm not saying you'd implement that in trial. Dungeons, yeah, you could do that. Prerequisite, lock bar. Congratulations. That's easy. That's not hard. That's not a hard system to implement. At all. So, a lot of people wouldn't like it. They'd be pissy. Mystic knows a thing or two about this industry. I don't know. I have this thing called experience with things being developed and put in pipelines from early stage to release. But what? You couldn't get around it. You'd be stuck. You would be stuck. You'd be screwed. Couldn't fake it. No more. See, Mystic knows. Trust me. You know, like, I own an IP. I own my own IP. You know, I've thought about multiple things when I, you know, design the fundamentals behind my product. But of course, never came into development. Probably never will. But I knew some things that would have to be implemented. And from a coding perspective and an engine perspective, you need to know the capabilities of implementation. And for them to implement that feature, not a problem. It's not. Minimum prerequisites, lock bar.
Did you get it? Did your invitation arrive?
You can't switch out skill line while you're in a dungeon. Would it have a couple of bugs in the beginning? Yeah, unfortunately. They'd have to do a lot on PTS to make sure it would be a smooth transition. But to have it, yeah, it's completely doable. And yeah, it's completely legit. Like I said, a lot of people wouldn't like it. They'd be all mad. But, hey. To correct the mistake. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I got you. But good question, man. Good question. That's a good question, though. It was a legit good question. And actually good observation. So thank you. I like that. I like when people, say, yeah, you could do this. Oh, yeah, it could be like that. Yeah. But we could do this or we could do that. There's a lot of different opportunities. And the thing about it is, why am I having to make these observations? Why does it have to come to this? Why hasn't it been implemented sooner? Like, what did you, look up my 2 years ago. I said, I get tired of random monster sets. I wish you could just buy them directly. More keys. They implemented it. I used to have a Christmas wish list every Christmas, and they would implement a lot of those features because me and a couple of people sat down and we all talked about if ZOS was to implement. I'm the one that said, it'd be awesome if they implement jewelry crafting. Somerset comes out, they implemented jewelry crafting. I was like, because I'm observant of the game's mechanics. I'm not saying, was it my decision? No, it was a community effort. I sat down with players on chats and we chatted about it. We said the pros and the cons, what could be done, what would be bad decisions, what would be good decisions, what would strengthen the game, what would give longevity to it, because we wanted it to continue to succeed. That's what we wanted. That's simple. It was a community effort by a number of players just to say this would be great for ESO. And the devs implemented it. And it was great. It was great. They've done amazing stuff. So, I will say that, from PvE, I've never had complaints. Never. So, I just feel like, I want to see this game continue. I want to see it expand. I want to see players, when they walk into this game, to feel like they're immersed into something so grand. Because it is amazing when you're running through Tamriel for the first time. It seems overwhelming, but you can take it at your own pace. You can play multiple ways and put together these different, features that have been, beautifully designed. And yet it's the smallest things that are such the pain to endure. Like having to deal with fake healers, fake tanks, and overzealous individuals that make gameplay experience a little obnoxious. And yes, I know me ranting about this seems obnoxious, but it's only because I give a shit. Okay? I really care. So, heaven forbid. But I would be livid if I was Microsoft walking in on this product being like, what the? You're pandering to a small percentage of your player base. Am I getting that right? And I would be livid. I would be livid as a CEO. I would be livid as a board member. I would be furious. I would be enraged. Because retention's not enough. It's not. Retention is not enough. I want to see growth. I want to see profit. I want to see these numbers skyrocket. If we're putting millions in every year and we're only breaking barely over even or only making X amount of percentage over profit, why is that not? Why are we not growing? What is the problem here? When we're one of the best looking games in the industry, one of the largest and server side data, why, oh God, why are we not expanding our profitability margin? I'm really intrigued to hear your excuses. We're pandering to, like, you know, the top players? What did you just say? You're doing what? You're taking, let me get this straight. You're taking a 5% margin of your player base and you're pandering to them and not expanding to, I don't know, a new player base? Are you on drugs? Are you high? Are you delusional? Okay, that would be my questions. Yeah. So, because this game has it. It has the fundamentals. Just needs a little reintegration of priority. So, anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. Peace out. Have a nice day.